This story needs to blow up part 2. Barmala Ekpunobi. I've reacted to part 1. So pretty much what this is that a 17-year-old was invited into the Bob House. If you don't know what the Bob House is, it's basically a house where a group of OF prostitutes lives. And yeah, apparently like this group has kind of also split up now due to the fact that they invited a 17-year-old on there, and like yeah, it has escalated into finding out that there's a potential chance that the mother is selling loot stuff. Well, not chance, actually more or less proven that the mother is basically grooming our own daughter and making her sell loot photos. Yeah, it is. It is gonna be very interesting. What she has found out now.
Well guys, welcome to part 2. In part 1, we investigated claims that a 17-year-old was invited to the Bob House to film TikTok videos. That ended up being true. It was 17-year-old influencer Piper Raquel, who has tens of millions of followers across all of her platforms. Upon further investigation, we found out that Piper Raquel has a website where you can buy bikini-clad photos.
Yeah, it's pretty much her version of an OF. And it's like sets of photos and stuff, paid and stuff. It is gross as hell.
Of this minor, and this website is parent managed, at least according to its own bio. Now, who's the parent managing this website? We speculated as to who that was. You guys can check it out in part 1 if you're unfamiliar. But today we have to get into part 2 and ask ourselves some questions.
It might be the mom. It might have been the mom.
How is this allowed? Are there other minors operating in this way on this website or other sites like it? And what do we do going forward? So let's have the conversation and get into part 2.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.
Guys, before we get into today's video, please like and subscribe. Yeah, we're gonna get into part 2. So much to talk about. Of course, in part 1, we discovered Piper Raquel's website, which is parent managed, and we speculated as to who that parent was. Maybe the momager of Piper Raquel.
Yeah, and the mom apparently allegations from like 11 teens in a court case, and they settled for like 1.8 million. Once again, we don't really know. What was going on? The minors alleged that they were like even touched inappropriately. That's what the minors said. And yeah. Even before that, the girl was already like doing sexual stuff on her YouTube channel. Very interesting.
Raquel, Tiffany Smith, who has been working with Piper in creating this sexually suggestive content, it seems, for quite some time. But of course, I have to say, everything in this video is alleged. It's for informational purposes, and I am speculating as to what is happening in the many situations we are going to discuss moving forward.
Yeah, here's Raven's favorite word, allegedly.
Now, to follow up on the Piper Raquel story, you'll remember there was a young girl from the Bop House named Joy May. She is one of the OnlyFans creators that lives at the Bop House. She was opposed to Piper Raquel even coming there in the first place, made a whole video crying about the fact that they had a 17-year-old on the premises because you guys know what you do at the Bop House.
Isn't the CP underage? Yes. As to how it's legal or not, how it can stay up legal, because technically, like, it would be taken down, right, if you would, like, share this somewhere, but since it's not taken down, I assume there is some way, shape, or form a legal loophole as to how this is possible. But the channel's proof it's full of kids doing weird stuff. That is true, that is true.
House. You guys know that you are OnlyFans creators, and you guys know that you are leading sexually charged individuals over to Piper's page. But Joy has followed up on her initial video, saying she overreacted. Let's watch.
I overreacted, and I was very, very emotional, as you guys can see. I do have a lot of...
Why do I have the feeling that since the initial reaction was her being against this, Why do I have the feeling that the girls talked to her and made her now make this video? Why do I have the feeling that that's the case? Cause, Mom, it's not CP, it's just pictures. Yeah, just pictures with greasy old men paying for it.
A lot of other issues with the Bop House, but the Piper situation was completely innocent, and I did take it out of context. I did speak with Piper and her mother, and they are very, very sweet people, and they are under controversy that they honestly don't deserve. I did post on my YouTube the real reason why I left the Bop House, so if you want to know the truth of that, please go find it there.
Let's read some comments before we move forward. This one says, yeah, we know you overreacted. 25,000 likes on that one. Piper is just a child being exploited by her mom. Stop bullying her. Next one, Piper's mom is not sweet. So we have a plethora of opinions on this particular case. I'll let Joy know right now, girl, you did not overreact. The only way in which you overreacted is if you're okay with what Piper is doing online right now and what it seems her mother is leading her to do online.
Yeah, her mother was named multiple times. Interesting. Talk to her. Anyway, I'm going to bed now. It's 3 a.m. Good night, I'd say. Rest well.
And this seems to be further evidence to the possibility that Piper's mom is the one behind all of this, the momager managing these sexually suggestive...
That's an interesting word. The momager. Funny. The momager.
Pages selling images of this minor to men, because why would Piper's mom be having a discussion with Joy, an OnlyFans creator, about her overreacting in regard to Piper being at the Bop House? Riddle me that. And Joy, I gotta let you know, you are not overreacting, at least from what I found online. And I've seen TikTok after TikTok of people starting to pick up this situation and talk about it, and all roads seem to lead to Tiffany Smith, Piper Raquel's mom. Now again, I don't know if Tiffany Smith is the parent manager of these parent managed websites for Piper, but I do know whoever is managing the sites has been making some changes. And in order to talk about the changes that are being made to this website, I guess I'm gonna have to expose the website itself, so drumroll please. The website is Brand Army. Now let's talk about the changes. When I initially heard about Piper Raquel's Brand Army page, she had a 3-tier...
So now we know. Now we know. The full confirmation would be, the full confirmation would be, if once she turns 18, she's gonna start an adult website, or fully adult content. Huh. Interesting.
Tier subscription. The initial tier, the lowest tier, was free. But once this controversy started picking up and viral TikToks were being made about it, or we made our video about this situation, the bottom free tier changed to $5. And now the bottom tier is $10. So who is...
Somebody is milking this. Somebody knows that somebody's milking this. Who is it, though? Who is it? But somebody's clearly milking.
Hearing stories of this page and driving traffic to this page and suddenly deciding to change the monetary value of the lowest subscription. Could it be the parent that is managing this website? Now, the second tier subscription on Piper's page used to be $30. Now it's $35. So let's really think about this. We've discovered that a minor is selling sexually suggestive photos of herself, or a parent is selling sexually suggestive photos of this minor online. People have discovered this website. Traffic is being driven to it either for investigative purposes.
I guess that somewhat confirms. That somewhat confirms, if we take this like this, that somewhat confirms that minor, like that she likely, at least that's from what I can tell, that there's likely a good chance that her daughter is actually being used for that. Cause like somebody's using that controversy. The mom is so obvious she isn't even trying to hide the exploitation. Not really.
Or some nasties who are trying to get these photos. And instead of taking down the website as whoever is managing it, as it's claimed to be parent managed, you drive up the price. multiple times. And it's not only that, Piper is not the only individual featured in the images that are being sold on her website. I went through some of the images, tried to cross-reference those with people she follows on Instagram or people she is pictured with on Instagram, and I can confirm, at least through my investigation, that at least one other minor individual, according to US standards of what a minor is featured in the pictures that are being sold on Piper's website. Of
Another one? Wait, another one? No. Another one? Ooh, another one!
course, I'm not going to say who that is, but it is one thing to involve, as a parent, your child in these images, but to pull other individuals in to make these photos absolutely blows my mind. Piper is also featured with a young woman that I found through going through her socials who is 19 years old making this sexual content. So a 19-year-old is getting together with this 17-year-old to make these photos and knows that they're being sold to men on the internet? So weird. And of course it begs the question, is Piper the only minor who's being victimized in this?
There could be so many more. This could be an entire, like, big thing, and, like, there could be so many more minors involved. Ugh. It is absolutely and utterly gross that there could be more involved. Ugh.
Way on this Brand Army site? And of course, the answer is no. I'm gonna blur these images and videos because I don't want to share other minors on this site in case this information gets into the wrong hands, but there are other profiles on this Brand Army website that are parent managed and at least allude to some sort of sexual nature behind the posts that they're making. Again, I cannot confirm that.
Disgusting! Poker's gone nuts. I'm about to go nuts. This is crazy. This is ridiculous. This entire website might be built on that. Ugh.
That these are all sexual accounts, but many of them are insinuating it. And then of course you have to ask yourself, does Brand Army, this company, know that this is being hosted on their site? If they have enough forethought to put minors on parent-managed accounts, then they know that minors are often objectified and victimized by predators. That's why you would put parents as the gatekeepers on this website. So I looked into Brand Army and wanted to see how they treat their junior accounts, and I found this page. So by the way, on this Brand Army website, if you want to be a creator, somebody who posts videos and pictures and sells these posts, you can be below the age of 18. But if you want to be a subscriber or a fan to these creators, you have to be above the age of 18.
Huh. Ugh. Ugh.
Now, Brand Army says that a junior channel is a parent-run and managed subscription community of a junior content creator or social media influencer under the age of 18 years old. Now, under their identification policy, it says that junior channel creators and their parents have to provide identification of some kind. It says that each junior channel must include parent-managed somewhere in its About section so that everybody knows this is parent-managed. And this is where things get interesting. Unacceptable content. Prohibited.
Unacceptable content. Any fetish, photo, video, PDF, audio, content, or textual copy. Okay. Okay. Makes sense. But technically... nudity? Well, that wasn't the thing. Lingerie, not really. Twerking videos was also probably not part of that. The emojis. Huh. Only those 7. I don't know.
And subject to immediate removal from Brand Army. Now, here are the different pillars that are unacceptable. Any fetish, photo, video, PDF, audio content, or textual copy, nudity, lingerie, twerking videos, emojis. And remember these emojis. The eggplant, the wet emoji, the pepper emoji, the peach emoji, the bunny emoji, the hot emoji, or the devil emoji. Now let's go back to our last video where we check in on Piper Raquel's page. And what sort of emojis did we see there?
I understand abuse. Yeah, selling loot pictures of a minor. That's what they're doing here. And look at that, the devil emoji. There's no corn. Just sexual exploitation. Of somebody who's underage.
there. So we all saw that devil emoji, right? And this is where the story gets interesting. Because of course, as I am investigating this Brand Army website, I'm thinking, who are the founders and owners? They need to be made aware that this is happening on their website. I found 2 names. I then found those names on Instagram. I sent them a DM saying I was investigating this, asked about their awareness of Piper Raquel's page and how they were handling this according to their guidelines, and I got no response. I also messaged the Brand Army page on Instagram, and I got no response. But since then, Piper Raquel's page has changed. Let's go take a look. Now, the description on her $100 tier is the same, but the purple devil emoji has changed to a purple heart. I wonder why that is. But whoever
Caught in 4K! Yeah, you can make the changes, it doesn't matter. Like, you being caught in 4K. We're still waiting for Epstein files. Oh yeah, we're still waiting for those. I guess we're about to get new files if this continues.
Whoever made the changes to that $100 tier has not made all the necessary changes to conceal the fact that they're selling sexually suggestive images of a minor online. Back to the junior content guidelines, captions and direct message words must be mainstream and not flirtatious. Any content or language, both written and verbal, that is sexually suggestive or could be perceived as sexually suggestive or is deemed suggestive by the Brand Army staff. No micro bikinis, G-strings,
But, like, a lot of them are, like, flirtatious. If I remember from the last video. So that would once again be unacceptable content.
thongs, thong bikinis, no showing underboob, no dancing on live stream for tips. Who knows whether or not that's happening? 100% bikini swimwear content. You must have a 50-50 mix of swimwear and non-swimwear content. What? This is not a bikinis only platform for teenagers. So if you're selling a bunch of
So, okay. So your count has to be 50, 50. So you can go full bikini. What the heck?
content on Brand Army of you in a bikini and you're a minor, you just have to make sure you juxtapose that with 50% non-swimwear content. Please make it make sense. And here's another guideline that Piper Raquel's page is not following. You are not supposed to have Playboy branding on clothing or in a video or photo. And boy, do we have evidence of that. And not only that, you are not supposed to be posed for photos or videos in a bed. And not only has she done that, she's done that with another minor present in the photos, allegedly. And of course, Piper is not the only page that's in violation of the supposed junior guidelines, some of which make no sense. Here's another example of a page with a pepper emoji in one of the descriptions of
Well, there is the pepper emoji, and the heart eyes emoji, and the side eye emoji. You cannot tell me that these aren't sexually suggestive. You cannot tell me that. You cannot. No.
of their tiers. So how is Brand Army not catching these little slip-ups? Well, they claim to be requiring monthly check-ins. They say we require the parent of a junior channel creator to check in once per month with their Brand Army contact. We want to know that the parents are continuing to manage and monitor their child's junior channel. We also want to know if there's anything we can do to help support their channel and see if there are areas in which we can improve. And the wording on this is very interesting. I'll read it again. We want to know that the parents are continuing to manage and monitor the child's junior channel. So on these monthly check-ins, are you getting on the phone with the parent and saying, hey, is everything okay? You guys making money? And then hearing yes and hanging up? Are you checking in on the websites of these minors? Are you checking in on the parents that are supposedly managing these sites to make sure they're following their guidelines? Doesn't seem like it. And when somebody DMs you to let you know this site may have run away from you at least once, if not many times, wouldn't you want to check in on that and make some changes? Maybe when a 17-year-old has a set of photos for sale on your site with a caption that says, Sophie Rain made me do it, you need to make changes. So we're gonna wait to see if we ever hear back from Brand Army, but
I don't think you're gonna hear it back, and even if you do hear back, nothing much is gonna change. At least I don't think so much is going to change. That's usually the case, though. Nothing ever changes with these.
but I can promise you, I'm not gonna hold my breath. But wait, if you call now, there's more. Brand Army is apparently not the only website out there that is hosting this sort of content. Taylor and I went down a rabbit hole. We found another website titled Passes that apparently allows minors to create accounts, and Passes is marketed, or at least spoken about, in a way that refers to it as an alternative for OnlyFans. It's a way for
Ain't no way. We got OnlyFans for minors before we got GTA 6. Oh my god. No. 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 Oh no.
creators to connect with their fans without getting into super sexually explicit content, but it doesn't mean you can't have a little not safe for work content on the site. And seemingly on this site, much like Brand Army, we have these parent managed accounts that are popping up where parents are seemingly willingly engaging with the fans of their children in a sexual way. And many of you, of course, commented on part 1 and said, Amla, this is not a new problem. And I know I've reported on it on this channel specifically with this story. This New York Post article is titled, Meta Allowed Parents to Exploit Their Kids by Having Pedophiles Pay to See Them in Bikinis on Instagram.
Anyways, somebody interested in a parenting license, maybe? At this point? Huh? Maybe? Good God. It comes out, people talk about it, and 2 weeks later, no one knows anything. Yeah, though that's with many things. Like, Dr. Disrespect. People talk about it. For a bit. A month later, oh, remonetized. Anyways, let's business as usual. I hate these dudes. Who does not hate them?
Meta's new paid subscriber service allowed parents to exploit their children by charging pedophiles to gawk at their bikini-clad kids on Instagram, where girls as young as 9 years old were attracting comments from men such as perfect bikini body, those thighs are perfect, and you are so hot. Staffers at Facebook and Instagram parent Meta said,
Ooh. Disgusting.
they
Straight
flagged
up.
hundreds of so-called parent-managed minor accounts that were using the subscription feature on those platforms to sell exclusive content that included photos of young girls in bikinis and leotards to mostly men, according to the Wall Street Journal. So yeah, it seems to be a tale as old as time that keeps jumping from platform to platform to platform, where parents are subjecting their children to this sort of victimization. And we know where some of these paths lead. Another commonly made comment on part 1 was that Piper Raquel is yet another example of a Danielle Cohn. Now, I had no idea who Danielle Cohn is, but decided to look into this name. Now, she seemingly was exploited as a minor herself as young as 15 years old. Many say she had a fanfics account where images were being sold of her online, and of course, sexually suggestive ones. I don't know who was responsible for this page, but it is clear that it started when she was below the age of 18. And of course, as it is the natural progression of things, Danielle Cohn now does Playboy. So you can see how one
Is that the pipeline? Getting sexually exploited as a child and then doing corn? Or Playboy? Is that the pipeline? Disgusting.
stepping stone leads to the other. And as I'm looking into Danielle Cohn, I'm thinking, wait a second, that name actually does sound familiar. And it sounds familiar because if you go to Brand Army and sign up for the parent-managed page of 17-year-old minor Piper Raquel, you're going to get suggested to you other accounts that are similar to Piper Raquel's. Now, what was one of the accounts that was suggested to me as a follower of Piper Raquel? Danielle Cohn. So guys, for legal purposes, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, we do not know. We do not know what happened. All allegedly.
On this website. So guys, take that information as you will. You let me know what that means to you. But again, I have questions. How are we supposed to get through to somebody on this site to make changes in regard to this? In looking into this, I've confirmed that this sort of behavior online is most definitely illegal. So, wouldn't Brand Army like to know that what's happening on their site is direct exploitation, sexual exploitation at that, of minors, and that it is in fact illegal?
No, because they make money off of it. So they're just gonna keep ignoring it. Just the usual process.
And once you've been alerted to this information, if you've seen my DMs and emails, wouldn't you want to do something about it instead of allowing this to run rampant on your page? And if you haven't heard from me yet, hi Brand Army! Maybe as many of us as possible should reach out to this website to let them know what is happening on their site, what is being hosted on their site, because maybe now to this very day, they are still unaware. I gotta say, I'd love to be a fly on the wall for the next required monthly check-in with Piper Raquel's momager, who is supposedly behind this Brand Army page. What exactly are you guys discussing that lets this fly under the radar? Also, another question, Brand Army, what percentage are you profiting off of minors who are selling sexually suggestive photos of themselves on your site? How much of that are you guys taking home? So while Brand Army works on that question, I'm gonna pose the same question to Passes, and I think Passes might actually have an answer. In fact, I think Passes is going to be forced.
Obviously they know. They 100% know. This is why it makes them money. That's why they keep ignoring it. It just makes sense why that is the case. At this point, I'm not like wondering or like confused. It would just make sense that they keep ignoring it. I mean, there's plenty of reports of underage content on OnlyFans that does not get reported. They know as well. They just like to hide it.
To have an answer, because they're actually in the middle of a lawsuit right now. Let's read about that. AOL.com says influencer Lucy Guo sued for allegedly allowing CP on her social media platform billed as OnlyFans minus the nudity. The article goes on to say high-flying Miami party girl and tech influencer Lucy Guo has been named in a class action lawsuit alleging she and her subscription-based social media platform for influencers, Passes, knowingly recruited underage girls to create
Yes! Take the lawsuit! Yes!
and distribute CP to members. The bombshell suit alleges how Passes and one of the explicit site's agents, Alex Celestin, took pains to hide the alleged sexual exploitation of the teen plaintiffs, and that Guo herself personally intervened to override the site's internal restrictions to strip underage content creators of protections put in place to protect minors. Guo has vigorously denied the accusations. According to the suit, between July and September of last year, Celestin and Lanny Ganoza, the site's erstwhile director of talent, instructed lead plaintiff and OnlyFans model Alice Rosenblum, who was allegedly 17 at the time, to, quote, create images and videos of herself engaged in sexually explicit conduct, end quote, and upload them on the site via its data storage system known as, quote, the vault, end quote. It further alleges
The vault. What do they store in this vault? I do not want to know. I mean, we know, but I do not want to know.
that both Passes and Guo knew Rosenblum was underage, but never took any steps to thwart the content from being made available, and that the site allegedly remains in possession of pornographic images and videos of then underage girls who make up the class members. And it's interesting to note that this guy Celestin, who's named in the lawsuit, used to work for Fanfics. And you'll remember we spoke about Fanfics because that's the site that was allegedly home to Danielle Cohn's content when she was underage. Fanfics has allegedly cleaned up shop since and no longer allows for minor pages. And you'll let me know if this sounds familiar. For the Passes website, it says
good. No more minor pages for those. That's good. That's good. Sue her for whatever she earned. To be fair, I think the wood chipper would also fit her quite well.
Joining the site as a minor required verifiable parent consent forms, which included a signed consent form, a video conference held with the parent, and a copy of the parent's identification or license. And here's where we'll stop on this article. Conveniently, the suit claims that on February 24th, the option for 15 to 17-year-olds to join the site, as well as details of its stringent internal safeguards, vanished from Passes terms and conditions. Now, as the article states, and I will reiterate, Lucy and Passes vehemently deny that they had any knowledge that this was taking place on their site or that they are responsible for this sort of behavior and activity. So, Passes is in the middle of the legal ramifications of this sort of activity taking place online, and I'm wondering when that's going to take place for Brand Army. We'll wait and see. And that concludes part 2 of our investigation. So what started off as a 17-year-old making TikToks at a bop house turned into the discovery that that 17-year-old has a website where sexually suggestive photos are being sold of her. That website claims to be parent managed. We looked further into that site and found other parent managed accounts that seem
Other parent managed accounts. So we started with 17-year-old going to the Bob House to other websites doing the same her selling suggestive content to other minors and on other websites, and the same website doing it disgusting. I think that's a bad idea. Her mother is likely pocketing the money, but that also funds her lifestyle, so let her keep the money as compensation. I mean, for the minor, for the 70-year-old, sure. But I think the mother should just straight up go to jail. Like, just let her straight up go to jail at this point. Are we real?
Seem to be selling similar content to a plethora of different customers. We tried to let the website and its owners know, hey, this is going on your site, and we've received a total of 0 responses. But hey, maybe they just haven't read the messages yet. But that investigation led us to Passes, yet another website that has its own history of selling sexually explicit or sexually suggestive content of minors. So much history, in fact, that they're in the middle of a lawsuit. So that's where we're at in our story. Will there be a part 3? Probably, because minor exploitation quite literally never ends on the internet, and we just so happened to...
So did she just uncover a file ring? That's crazy.
Cover it, covering one of these stories. We'll see what happens next. Will I get a response from any of the people I've tried to reach out to? Probably not. So that's where we're at, guys. Thank you for watching. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. What do we do moving forward? You guys maybe try to reach out to Brand Army and see if anything moves and if anything gets done. I will keep monitoring this Piper Raquel situation and other pages like it to see if anything changes, or if maybe we start to follow those very flippant junior content guidelines that tell you can sell 50% bikini pics, because we want to be safe, right, guys? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. If you disagree with anything I said in this video, do get out, but do so respectfully. And if you like this video, like, subscribe, click the notification bell to be notified every single time I post a video for you guys.
That's pretty much the end of the video. My thoughts are, as with the last one, my thoughts are very simple. I'm sharpening the wood chipper. I'm getting the wood chipper.